Hello everyone and welcome. Yes, my name is Arafire and welcome back to an episode of All Talk, No Shock. So Titans are on the agenda once again, but not really with Hasbro. So Hasbro have got, under Legacy, the Nemesis ship coming out will be probably quite similar to the Ark. We don't know much of it at this stage, but there is seemingly a Commander class and a Titan class with any toy line they are doing now, and this is going to be their take on it. With Metroplex coming out before, they're probably going to cool their jets now, no pun intended, on the Titans and going back to combiners. However, third party did not get the message, and let's have a look at some of the offerings coming up for us and the sizes they will be.
No shock.
So the first elephant in the room is Fans Toys, and we've seen this one before, I've spoken about it before. This is their 4-foot version of a Fortress Maximus. They were the first ones to openly suggest they would do it. It went quiet now, they're doing it again. The head is already out as a separate component and they are working on the rest of it. Now this is going to be a 4-foot robot mode Fortress Maximus. There is still the big talking point as to the price point, the size of it for transport and how it's going to come to you. I still think it's going to come in about 3 shipments. I think you'll get an upper body and I think you'll get a lower body because the head has already been categorized as an A, as part A. So there will naturally be a B and probably a C, maybe even a D. Considering how much die cast and precious parts there are to this and the fact that they're encased in polystyrene, the shipping could be the tipping point and dare I say the breaking point with this figure. And this was quite an achievement, however obscene. I think it will look great to see, but I don't think anyone really needs a 4-foot Transformer in their collection. If you're a medium to long standing collector, where do you put it? Where would I put a 4-foot Titan? I just couldn't. I mean, I'd like to have it. I'd love to see it. I'd love to transform it. I would probably keep it in base mode of the two. But an engineering task and marvel, yes, it's fantastic. A financial burden, a space consumer, it's not so great and it's definitely not practical. And for a while, they were the only ones tackling this. And the HasLab Unicron was the biggest bot. That will be eclipsed. I think this is going to be 2 Unicrons, more or less. But now, there's someone else having a go. Next we're looking at Like Toys, and Like Toys have sort of become an unofficial go-to source for upgrades and other things. It's very much an odds and sods category. I don't say that in any disparaging way, but when I think of Like Toys, I think of their upgrade parts for combiners, fake torsos as it were, that existing combiner limbs can go off, and I've been tempted to pick some of them up. When you look at the Computron that can go with the Matroids or the Warbotron set, the Defensor that can work with the Combiner Wars team to look really like a masterpiece combiner. They don't come particularly cheap and you have to get it through their Facebook group, but nevertheless, it does look quite good. Also, they've moved on to doing something with Jim Bao for the oversized version of their Devastator to go much more on the Toy World Devastator size, but they have been working on their own Titan, and this is huge. This is going to be a 4-foot Metroplex, and this has been shown to us in great detail all the way through. And I do like the fact that we have been kept up to date with its progress and showing you how it transforms, how it's been assembled. But 2 points stand out on this for me. They said from the outset that it will be under 1,000. We're going to assume dollars, perhaps. And how much is that under 1,000? I do wonder. But also, again, much like with the Fans Toys version, how is this going to be shipped? And that is going to be the biggest issue with this. We might not have the connections for the distribution of this. You might have to get it with them directly. You might have to organise a bespoke packing service to receive this. That's going to be quite a headache for the consumer and for Like Toys themselves. Really, they won't know until it's done whether it's been fruitful or not. And again, it's the same premise as with Fans Toys. Is this going to be an engineering marvel? Yes, absolutely. Does it look great? Will it look great in your collection? I'm sure it will. But will it be worth it? Will people say, do you know what, that was a really good idea that you did there. We'd like you to do a Fortress Maximus. We'd like you to do a Grand Maximus or a Trypticon or whoever. But the logistical headaches of shipping it out and the cost of production versus what they take as a profit will be the tipping point to whether they continue with projects like this. At least I think so. But another name joins the fray, and we have Lewin Toys, who are really known for doing a massive upscale of the MP10 mold of Optimus Prime and transforming fully into robot mode and into truck mode as well. And there is a trailer available. It's a huge upscale, it's a huge oversized version, and again, for what I understand, it's very good, very robust, and very expensive. And they are having a go at a Metroplex. We've seen this release now, a promotional video showing it transforming into robot mode and base mode. And again, this is at the typical 4 foot height now. For what I'm looking at this figure, and it is only a promotional video that I'm taking this from, is that looks like an upscale of the Generations version of Metroplex, which can be quite expensive to find on the secondary market in its own right. So we are looking at a 4 foot upscale of a very popular figure. That could go in their favour. This is one thing you can say that maybe Lewin will have over Like Toys. Like Toys is completely built new from the ground up, and whilst it looks fantastic, Lewin have decided to upscale a version that is deemed quite good, more or less, and that is going to be a big tipping point for it. That is going to be a big selling point for them, because they can say, well, hold on, you like this figure anyway, would you like it a bit bigger? I think the same things will happen again. We don't know the price of this figure, and we don't know how it is going to be shipped. You would like to think they will just ship it as one, but a 4 foot single shipping, that's going to be bigger than a Unicron box, I would have thought. That's like a TV coming through your door. That's just so huge. And again, would some assembly be required? You think about how we've received some of the Titans like the Fortress Maximus or even the Scorponok in the Hasbro line. They come with arms separated that could be attached fairly easily, but that's how they have to do it. What's it going to be like if we're talking die-cast joints? Is it going to be a screwdriver job that we're going to have to physically assemble and connect parts up ourselves? We won't know till we get there, but this is interesting that more contenders want to go in for this side of the market. And at the end of the video, they teased something else, a Trypticon. Now, I personally think this is a War for Cybertron Trypticon. Just by looking at that head sculpt, something says to me they're going to do an oversized version of the War for Cybertron design rather than, say, the Hasbro version, an upscale of that. And that would be interesting. I could be wrong, I'm just looking at the shape of the head and it sticks in my mind that that could be what it is, but we'll find out when we see more of it. The only other one we're left with is MMC. Now, this hasn't really been spoken about, but it's worth reminding ourselves. When a promotional video came out from MMC, it was their upcoming Protector box versus their Baruticus, their Combaticons. And at the end of the promotional video, there's a big shadow looming down on the Protector bots. And it made you wonder, is this another Combiner? Or is it something bigger, given the shadow, the presence, the fact they're looking up? And people have suggested this could be a Trypticon from MMC. But again, if it is being explored by other companies, it seems that Titan is the flavour at the moment. I think with the view that Hasbro are going to go towards combiners, and the third-party companies have been working on combiners quite solidly now, really since the end of Combiner Wars. There's this keeping away from one another that I felt for a long time third party and Hasbro like to do. They dance around each other, and if the focus at Hasbro is to come away from Titans and look back more towards combiners, third party will do the opposite. At 4 foot combiners, that's where we're looking. Where does it stop? What does this mean for any upcoming Unicrons? How big does it go? How long till we get a 6 foot Transformer? But there we go. What Titans would you like to see coming out? What sort of scale would you like to see? And how practical do you think they will be? Leave a note in the comments below. But thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next one.